weekend for telling stories. Thursday is your weekend. All of you are going to be sitting around a table, and stories of family are going to come up. And I'm willing to bet, in a lot of your household, stories of cars are going to come up. Remember that first car, that first family car? Well, when it comes to my family of 7 and my 2 parents, I'm an expert on cars. Wrecking them, not fixing them. I wrecked 3 cars before I was 18, and I did the first one when I was 7 years old. I'd like to share that story. It was 1969, and I had just begged, pleaded, and most effectively whined my father into buying me the brand new James Bond 007 Secret Special Survival Spy Kit. Ooh, it had everything. It had a plastic watch that doubled as a compass and an encoder and decoder. They gave me my own identification card, acknowledging me as an honorary member of Her Majesty's Secret Service. But most of all, it had a double-barrel Uzi plastic machine gun with 2 extra golden bullets. It was a hot summer afternoon. I was 7 years old, and I was about to become the reason why all children of this generation have to go to daycare or preschool, to have an adult keep an eye on them, never to be left to their own demise. You see, what I needed was a car. That theme song from those James Bond movies began to boogie through the limbic system of my mind. I looked out the window, and there she was. Putt-putt. My mom's amazing mobile, a 1959 Chevy that had all the features of an Edsel. Oh, it had those shark-finned fenders. It had those big, fat, white wall tires. It had those solid chrome bumpers with that big, solid bullet in the center that when you put your face in front of it, it distorted you and made you look like a monster. But most of all, it had unlocked doors. I picked up my secret spy kit, and that song began to boogie right through my soul. I made it halfway to the door when I stopped. The music stopped with inside my brain. Wait a minute. Wait a cotton-picking minute. James Bond always had a sidekick. Every superhero had a sidekick. He had either some secret, seductive, beautiful agent to help him fulfill his mission, or at least the famous Q, or at least Miss Moneypenny. Who could be my sidekick? Well, I turned and ran back into the living room, and there she was. My 4-year-old little sister Elizabeth sleeping on the couch. I began to hum that theme song really loud. Hey, Liz, do you want to be my sidekick? We're going to play Bond, Joe Bond. What do you say? She put her thumb out of her mouth and swatted at me away. I said, come on, Liz, it'll be a blast. You can shoot the bad guys. Here, you can have the gun. I put the gun in her hand, and I picked her up and carried her, and we started walking out the door. Her feet hit the hot pavement, the hot blacktop pavement, and she began to ooh-ah. I made my way to the car, and in my mind, I opened up the back door and stashed her into the secret hideaway space so she could unassumingly come up and shoot the bad guys. I opened the front door, I jumped in at 7 years old, grabbed the steering wheel, and we were ready to go. Quickly, in my mind's eye, the inside of a car became a magic secret car. I opened the glove compartment, and a radar system came on. I turned on the radio, and a homing pigeon went out. Each of the little radio push buttons became a secret compartment that the famous Q had developed just for my secret car. I pushed the first button. Rear gun, machine guns, ammo full. I pushed the second button. Rocket missile launcher from rear tire, check. Third one, torpedo device from rear muffler, check. Finally, the fourth one. Chilled champagne to woo secret agent after mission's complete, check. I turned around, I said, Miss Moneypenny, are you ready for action? My little sister Liz, she came up in the back seat. She put the gun up in her right hand. She put her thumb into her left, and she went back to sleep. Well, we were off. In my mind, we were going through the highways and the byways of Europe. We were dodging enemy aircraft, whirring and swerving, riding over railroad tracks. And in the midst of the action, I noticed it was the infamous Dr. No behind us. And he was shooting at my special car. So I knew that I had to speed up. So I pulled the gear shift, and away we went. You have to understand something about 1959 Chevys. You see, there were no locks on the gear shift. Putt-putt began to actually move. Dun, 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 dun. Just as the roll began to go down the incline driveway to the garage door 20 feet away, my mom came out the back looking for my sister. I knew I had to think and act fast, so I did. Just like James Bond in those movies. I turned and I said, "Mom, the car is broke." I opened the door and just like James Bond, rolled out of the car when the car was going into the burning buildings in the movies. And I even did the slow motion infamous triple roll. Just in time to hear my mom scream my sister's name, "Elizabeth!" And to see the car go right through the garage door. My little sister only had a little bump on the head. And she did play with me again. That was only once, and that's another story. My mom, she did what every mother would do for her baby son. When my dad came home, she made up a whole new story. It went something like this. "Well, I did everything right, honey. It just decided to move somehow." My dad looked at her with that universal male look of how 2 plus 2 could somehow equal 3.5. He walked out to the garage and literally drove old Putt-Putt out of the garage door. Dun, 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 dun.